So yeah, so that's the advice that I give to pre-dents. And then, as you navigate through dental school and you're trying to figure out if you want to work or do residency or whatever, it definitely became even more pertinent for me, like with the match process, because
Yeah, that's great. I think the first piece of advice is to do what kind of you said. Start early. You going out to shadow like your residency programs, before you even thought about applying is like that's what you should be doing, if you feel like you're going to be going into practice, right? And even when you go into like your ortho practice, right? You should, before the end of your program, you should be going to shadow practices, right? And you're gonna even have more leverage because you're already basically a doctor and you're already about to get your ortho residency completed. So they're gonna be looking to hire, right? So the earlier you are in the process, the better it's gonna be. And you're gonna be able to feel out the offices and like you said, offer to just shadow the doctor. Especially in more private practice situations, they'd be glad to, right? Because they're gonna be like, all right, like if you're spending, let's say you build rapport with the doctor and you're going once a month on a Saturday to help them out and just to assist for free, right? A private practice dentist would love that, okay? So this is like a hack I'm giving you guys here, like, go reach out to private practice dentists in your area and, reach out to them, say that, hey, you'll assist for free on the weekends. And while you're there, you're not only gonna learn, you're gonna see how this practice is running. You may build a relationship and really like this person, and he might offer you an associateship. You may down the road buy the practice from him. But overall, reach out early, right? Reach out to recruiters early in DSOs because they're constantly buying and acquiring practices and building new offices, and they're gonna need people. So the earlier you are in people's minds, the better opportunities you're gonna have, and you're not gonna be someone that's like scrambling and desperately take that bad job because you just sent out like 10 applications like a month before you graduate and you're just crossing your fingers hoping that it makes sense. And then also my second point of advice would be to, as a general dentist, I would say think about procedures that you want to learn or that you kind of have an interest in, right? So if you feel like I want to learn implants, I'm more interested in doing extractions and surgeries, then yeah, maybe you should look at DSOs that specialize in that or give you that opportunity, right? Because certain programs and offices specialize in that, right? Aspen, you'll be doing a lot of extractions. They'll set you up to place implants and all that stuff. Whereas if you just applied somewhere, didn't really ask about if they even have specialists at their office, you get there and there's an oral surgeon they have, guess what? You're not gonna be doing extractions. They're not gonna want you to do extractions because that's for the specialist, right? So this is something that you want to, focus on. The third piece of advice I would say is to, try to build your soft skills and invest in reading books and just watching videos that are on basics of like communication and business, right? So a couple books I would recommend. One is like How to Win Friends and Influence People by Dale Carnegie. That's a really popular book. The second one is The E-Myth by Michael Gerber. And then you can just get like a basic book on just business, right? Or marketing. And what that's gonna help you do is kind of understand to think as not just a leader, but like understanding like that you're in an operation and how to basically zoom out of your position and see how everyone else around you ties into your bottom line, right? So because I've had all this like experience in coaching, I don't just walk into my office like just focusing on my just experience with my patient in my room, right? I'm noticing everything. Okay, like when I'm having a huddle, what are bottlenecks that we have here? Okay, I'm noticing that like my assistant isn't doing well at this and this one's better at this thing, right? Or my front desk isn't asking my patient if they want to do same day treatment, right? So there's so much going on in the background, right? Or even your lab tech, like getting their information and texting them cases and making sure your cases come out properly. Like most dentists don't even think that they can do this. They're just sending it out. But yeah, you can send them pictures, call them. So, that next piece of advice is just learning how to build relationships and rapport with not just your patient, but your staff and everyone else involved and colleagues like your specialists, right? So Eli, you're gonna be an orthodontist and anybody watching this who's going into specialty, yeah, you're not gonna have a problem with patients, as much as a general dentist because we're all gonna be referring them to you. But you still have to have a professional demeanor, be able to explain things because specialists, you're doing things that are a lot more expensive, right? Especially something like ortho, which is, you know, in most cases, patients just see it, oh, this is like a cosmetic thing, right?
Yeah.
So you have to get them to understand the benefits, not just cosmetically, but, you know, the other benefits, and communicate what they're getting for their value. And then also driving home the importance of them doing their due diligence at home, wearing their retainers, and just, you know, being someone that builds a good name for yourself. And yeah, so I think those are the main things that I would like advise, you know, residents or new grad. So I hope all this helps. If you have any further questions, you can hit the link in my bio. Join my private school community, which is 100% free. Ask me any questions. I'll do my best to guide you. I'll give you a link to that service I told you about. And like, comment, subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next one. Peace.